Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from Net Power, and let's just say it involves taxes, agreements, and a whole lot of zeros. Prepare for some financial gymnastics where a company tries to make its tax obligations disappear. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss the latest filings with other investors. Net Power is what's called a clean energy company that wants to make natural gas power plants without carbon emissions. They are trying to make electricity while capturing carbon dioxide, which can then be stored or used for other purposes. Now, let's get into the report. Back in 2023, Net Power made a deal called a tax receivable agreement. Think of it as a promise to pay some of its earlier investors a share of the tax savings the company might get in the future. Basically, if certain investors called tri-unit holders gave Net Power some assets early on, the company agreed to share 75% of any tax breaks they get because of that. Fast forward to 2025 and Net Power says, oops, we don't owe you anything. They sent out what's called an early termination notice, saying that based on their calculations, the amount due to these TRA holders is, wait for it, $0, nothing, nada, zilch. So basically Net Power told these early investors, thanks for helping us out, but we're not sharing any tax savings with you. After 30 days, this notice became final. As of June 12, 2025, the original tax agreement was officially terminated. No more obligation to share tax savings. Tip span, tip. What's the big deal? While these tax agreements can be worth a lot of money for the early investors who are expecting a cut of the tax savings, this is obviously a big disappointment. It means they won't be getting the extra payments they might have been counting on. There's something to be gleaned here. Net Power believes they aren't getting a tax benefit, but others might see it differently, leading to potential disagreements. This could lead to legal battles, which obviously waste time and resources. It might also tarnish the company's image if investors feel they got a raw deal. Looking at the broader picture, we need to ask a few questions. How did Net Power arrive at this $0 figure? Were the calculations fair? Was there any wiggle room in the agreement that allowed them to get out of paying? These are important questions that could impact investor confidence in the company, especially if investors perceive that Net Power is not acting in good faith. Looking at the early investors, it makes you wonder how they are feeling. Initially, they were probably excited about getting a percentage of the tax savings. Getting nothing after believing they would get something will likely make them upset about trusting Net Power after this deal. It also has an effect on investors looking to get involved in other companies. Alright, before we give our final thoughts, note here that Daniel J. Rice IV, the Chief Executive Officer, signed off on this report. Now let's dissect all of this together. From Net Power's perspective, this is a win. They've eliminated a potentially significant financial obligation without paying any of the previously agreed upon tax benefits. This could free up cash for other purposes like research and development or expanding their business. It also makes their financial picture look better to outside investors. They don't mention what that tax savings might have looked like, so this seems like them wriggling away from some legal commitment without having to say how they benefited. They feel Net Power's attempt to claim zero tax savings, and whether that will actually hold up is still unclear. It shows that there is a potential risk here. The company could face challenges to its calculations, leading to legal battles and reputational damage. It may be difficult to gauge the real scope of impact without knowing the specific details and the broader context. Here's the final word from me. I think some extra transparency would do them well by explaining why the tax break was not applicable and what are their projections on this, even in simple word. If they do, it would show confidence that they are doing everything right. That concludes our overview of Net Power's report. Do you believe that Net Power will get away with a $0 payout from their tax receivable agreement? Do you think they did the right thing? Let me know in the comments and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives. Also, check out the Discord community in the description where you can share all your filings finds. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.